I'm just a guy who loves Disney that has way too much time on his hands. If anybody from Disney is watching,
please don't sue me.
Yeah. I'm here to rate, review, and describe all of your favorite things from the magical world of Disney.
I'm File91e and welcome to my Disney news and reviews.
Hello everyone and welcome to this week's Disney News and Reviews. I'm File91e. We're a week away, guys, from the big final pay date for my Disney trip. Money's coming together from different sources, selling stuff and all that. It's just going to be, I'm pretty sure it's going to come right down to the wire. It's due the 17th. I'll probably pay it off around the 15th. Or at least that weekend, the weekend before. So we'll see. Hopefully by next week I'll have excellent, awesome, surprising, awesome, great tubular news. Just keep out an eye on the Twitter, or if you follow me on Facebook, keep an eye on that too, for the final set. Also in the mail today, there will be an unboxing preview of everything. I got these. So this is the newest D23, and it's celebrating the 40 years of Walt Disney World, which is cool. It also gives you this awesome Walt Disney World patch. That's really cool. Again, I go more in depth on that in the unboxing video, so if you're interested, check that out. I'm actually going to do some reviews today. No more top 10, at least until next week. But because I want to get back and actually start reviewing stuff, so I just figured I'd let you know that. Anyway, let's get right to the news. Not a whole lot of big news this week, but the biggest thing is that there's new signage now in place at the Enchanted Tiki Room, which is now expected to reopen it to guests on August 15th. It's been closed for God knows how long, ever since that fire many months ago. The new show will see a return to the roots of the original attraction, which I'm really looking forward to, because the Enchanted Tiki Room was originally a little scary, a little intense, especially for young children. So if you are going down there after August 15th and it is open, and I haven't reviewed it yet or anything like that, just be aware that if it's going to be what I think it's going to be, it will be a little intense for younger children. So just be careful and keep that in mind when you're going down. The Grand Gathering experiences at Walt Disney World are set to be discontinued from January 28, 2012 on. These include the Good Morning Gathering, Safari Celebration Dinner, International Dinner, and Illuminations Dessert Party. The Grand Gatherings are for, you pay extra for a larger group to actually have these Grand Gatherings. They're like special parties during certain events and places at Disney. It actually seems pretty cool, but apparently they're being discontinued for whatever reason, so just keep that in mind if you're booking your package for Walt Disney World soon. And finally, Rylas Carter, current VP of Epcot, is confirmed to be moving into a newly created position of Vice President, Catering, Convention Services, and Park Event Operations. This has been a short stay at Epcot for Rylas, who just moved into the job in July of this year. Taking his place as VP of Epcot is Aaron Youngs, who is currently a VP in Finance and part of the Next Generation Experience Group. Aaron has been with Disney for over 20 years. That's actually really cool. I'm hoping that, since she is the VP of Disney, of Epcot, that she'll do some pretty cool things with Epcot, like I said in my last video, which actually garnered a whole bunch of responses. That was actually really cool just to see that, just to hear what you guys had to say. And but anyway, like I said in my last video, that Epcot needed to be upgraded a little bit. So hopefully with this new VP, she'll be more inclined to upgrade Epcot and hopefully make it, what it should have always have been, and been the kind of next stage, technologically in Walt Disney World. So hopefully, that'll be all cool. Anyway, that's going to wrap up the news. Let's get right to the reviews. Alright guys, I'm going to review a couple things here that, one of them is a DVD, one of them is a television series from Disney. The first thing I want to review is Aladdin the Television Series, or also known as The New Adventures of Aladdin. That series ran from 1994 to 1995. This was requested of me by one of my newer viewers, so hopefully this will reach out to him. I remember this show a lot, especially because I was a huge Saturday morning cartoon fan when I was a kid. But nowadays it's not really, I'm not a big Saturday morning cartoon guy, but this was one of my actually favorite shows to watch on Saturday morning, so it's actually really cool. Now the whole plot of this thing kind of picked up after the movie of Return of Jafar, and now Return of Jafar had just been put out on video, and Disney was trying to capitalize on the success of it, so they said, okay, let's put into production a television series. Disney kind of was known to do that, especially back in the 90s. The whole plot of the whole thing, or the whole gist of it, was Al and Jasmine lived at the castle with the Boo, Carpet, and Genie, and Iago, who is now an anti-hero. Jafar was nowhere to be found because obviously he was killed in Return of Jafar. So the only time Jafar ever really made it back was during the Hercules, the animated series. He made a cameo. That was actually really cool. And all the voices return except for Robin Williams, who did Genie, obviously in the first movie. The Genie voice is now provided by Dan Castanella, who you might also know as the voice of Homer Simpson. He does a lot of voices. He's really good with voices. Also does Krusty the Clown and whatnot. So yes, he does or did the voice of Genie. So whenever you hear Genie and it's not Robin Williams, it's Dan Castanella. He is that backup voice for Genie. He does a great job. It's really cool. But it's interesting to kind of hear the differences. It's it's kind of neat. It's basically just doing an impersonation of Robin Williams. So if you want to do the Genie voice, just do an impersonation of Robin Williams, and you pretty much got it. Now, there was a total of 86 episodes altogether, plus the 3 feature-length movies, obviously, the Aladdin, Return of Jafar, and Aladdin the King of Thieves, and 1 guest appearance. Now, this after the 86th episode, this show kind of ended. Then they brought it back for 1 episode. It was a special episode of Hercules, the Animated Series, which took place obviously in Agrabah, and it was that was the guest appearance that this thing came up, because they wanted to again capitalize on the direct-to-video release of Aladdin the King of Thieves. So they made this just to kind of keep that ball rolling just for a little bit. Now, as opposed to the Ariel, or the Little Mermaid animated series, there were no musical numbers in this. So that was kind of that kind of different. That kind of took away from from the whole experience, because I think for many people the biggest part of Aladdin was the musical numbers, aside from the dramatic score, visual effects, and awesome animation. But yes, I think musical numbers are kind of up there, because everybody remembers A Whole New World, hopefully. Now, for the most part, this is off the air, and pretty much can't be seen anywhere except for in Canada, where when Disney XD came up there in June of this year, they apparently are showing reruns of the Aladdin animated series. So if you're up in Canada, check it out. Let me know if that's true. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's just speculation. Now, one of the things you will notice about the Aladdin animated series is that it's not exactly crisp and clean as far as animation style goes. And again, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying you will notice the difference. It's not exactly top quality. It's not Disney's top animators doing their top stuff. So just figured I'd throw that out there. So what am I going to give Aladdin the Animated Series? I give it 3 stars. It was a really good series. It was funny at times. There were some good episodes, but I would have loved to have seen or heard rather some of those musical numbers, because that was a big part of all of Disney, and the fact that they did it with the Little Mermaid series, but they didn't do it with this one. I mean, come on, they could have come up with something, but obviously they didn't, and I just think that takes it away. And plus the whole animation being obviously not as top grade as everything else, that brings it down to a 3. But again, I'm not going to expect any more because it is an animated series, and I know that they take they have to make a 30-minute show every week, so it's kind of hard, and they got to cut down the production quality in order to increase the speed. So I understand that. So that's why Aladdin the Animated Series gets 3 stars. Now, the last thing I want to review today is this. It's the Walt Disney Treasures Tomorrowland Disney in Space and Beyond set. Now, I got this tin at the Disney Movie Club, And I got a chance to watch it a couple weeks back, and I gotta say, this is really awesome, especially if you're a vintage Disney fan. You'll love this. This was hosted by Leonard Maltin, and it showed a lot of the old Walt Disney Presents episodes from the Walt Disney Presents television series. Now, back in the 50s, Disney realized that television could be a pretty beneficial to his business, so it created these television shows where he would obviously tie into what he's trying to do with Disneyland and introduce Disneyland, but also be entertaining and informative to the public. So, because not many people had television, and he wanted to put some effort into making each television show a pretty important. Because hey, back then they didn't have television. You can't just they couldn't just turn on the TV and be like, hey, here's stuff to watch. No, it's 3 channels, and one of them was NBC, and that was his thing. So anyway, while he was building Disneyland, he had different lands set up, obviously Frontierland, this, that, and the other, and one of them was Tomorrowland. So each week he would do a different thing with one of the lands, and for some of the weeks was the Tomorrowland episodes, and that's what they put onto here. Now that set was released in May of 2004. The set was originally supposed to be released during December of 2003, but because of a tin issue, they had to push it back. This was the 3rd wave of releases for the Walt Disney Treasures, and it depicts the various episodes of the anthology series that were set in Tomorrowland. Now, a lot of these were actually directed by Ward Kimball, who was one of the original and best Disney animators at the Walt Disney Studio. He was known for animating Jiminy Cricket. So if you ever watched Jiminy Cricket, Ward Kimball was the animator. The thing was, he was also an avid train builder and collector. Just like Walt, he shared Walt's kind of creativity and imagination that Walt had, and he loved space and all that stuff, so Walt gave this assignment to him and allowed him to direct and whatnot. Now they actually put some effort into this, and they built 105,000 sets as they were filming all of these things, so that was really cool. Now disc 1 it's a 2-disc set. Disc 1 has Man in Space, Man on the Moon, and Mars and Beyond. On disc 2, it's Eyes in Outer Space, Our Friend the Atom, and Epcot. Now, Man in Space on disc 1 basically just shows how man would react to being in space. They talk to different scientists and whatnot, aeronautical engineers, and it's really interesting for all of this because this was set in the 50s. They didn't go to space yet. They haven't been to the moon, so all this stuff is kind of theoretical. They have only made a couple of things to outer space, a couple of trips to outer space, but they hadn't been to the moon yet. So all the stuff that they're talking about, the 3-stage rockets and breathing in space and going to the moon, which was the 2nd episode, was Man on the Moon, how to get to the moon. And then Mars and Beyond, like going to Mars and beyond Mars and how there is life in outer space and whatnot. Again, we didn't go to the moon until like a decade after that. So hearing them talk about going to the moon as if it hasn't happened yet or will happen in the future, it's kind of different. It's intriguing. So as kind of a history buff, it's kind of like, oh wow, hey, well it's kind of right, but it's going to be different. I know it because it's going to be different. So I don't know. Just watching it, I'm just saying that was the feeling I got. It was kind of weird. Disc 2 was Eyes in Outer Space. It basically just kind of showed you about weather patterns and how we can use satellites in outer space to depict the weather. Our Friend the Atom, again, going into the atom and talking about all the different things that could come from that. And then my personal favorite episode was Epcot, when Walt Disney himself talked about his vision for what Epcot was supposed to be. This was, again, 30 years before Epcot was even built. And Epcot was originally supposed to be a city, an experimental prototype community of tomorrow, or experimental prototype city of tomorrow. Epcot. Get it? Remember that. That's a Disney trivia question. If you ever want to impress somebody or Disney fans, say, hey, what does Epcot stand for? Experimental prototype community of tomorrow. Epcot. But yeah, so that's what Epcot was originally supposed to be. It was supposed to be a city where a city of tomorrow where people would drive in using a monorail, and there would be peace and harmony, and everybody, there was a central hub. It was a whole hub thing. Really, really cool. Really, really innovative. Completely different than what we have down there now. There was also some pretty good bonus features. There's also a hidden Easter egg in there. If you actually go down to the bonus features and click on the little horseshoe all the way at the bottom, you'll get the Sherman Brothers singing "A Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow" with Walt introducing the General Electric Pavilion at the 1964 New York World's Fair. That's pretty cool. There was also interviews with Marty Sklar, who is one of the first and original and probably the best Disney Imagineer. He worked very closely with Walt on all the Disney parks. So if you ever hear of Marty Sklar in any of the Disney lore, mad props to him. He gets a lot of respect, because without him, a lot of the Disney parks wouldn't be the way they are today. So big props to him. Anyway, I talked about this enough. It's an excellent edition. What am I going to give the Walt Disney Presents Tomorrowland? 5 stars. Bam, this is awesome. I knew I was going to enjoy it just because I am a huge Disney history buff. Well, not buff, but I'm very interested in it. So I got to hear a lot of what Disney did, especially back in the 50s, and hearing the Epcot stuff was really cool. I recommend this set if you ever see it in the DVD store or whatever, or you get a chance to buy it. If you're a Disney fan, grab this, pick this up. It's a really excellent edition, and I got it from the Disney Movie Club, and it's there still, so check that out. Again, this was really awesome. 5 stars. I don't know what else to say. It's just pure Disney, awesome history stuff, awesome history lesson. Walt Disney Treasures Tomorrowland, 5 stars. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this week's Disney news and reviews. I got a couple of things in there. I wanted to get back to reviews because the top 10, again, I know they're just kind of space fillers, but they give me good comments, and hopefully this one will too. But yeah, if anybody from Disney is watching, please don't sue me. I got next week and I'm paying for the Disney trip. At least sue me after I go to Disney, which would be really cool. I'll be back with a lot of footage that I won't be able to use, but hey, that's c'est la vie, right? Go to allears.net, touringplans.com, wdwmagic.com for all your latest and greatest Disney news. WaltDisneyWorld.com is good too, straight from the horse's mouth. And I mean that. Go to those sites. They're excellent Disney sites. And, mad props to them because they're good. So, yeah, I think that's going to wrap up this week's Disney news and reviews. And stay tuned next week. Keep an eye out on Twitter for the, hopefully, final payment of this thing. And as soon as this gets paid off, I might just break down and cry just because I have been so stressed out over this with the payment and everything. But once it's over, once it's paid and we're going, airfare's paid off. Now this needs to be paid off. Once it's paid off, I'll be psyched to go down. Just waiting for October 8th. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you next week for another Disney news and reviews. Bye, guys.